Welcome back to the David Pakman Show. My name is Brittany Page, and I am the lucky guest host for David today. I have my very own YouTube channel where I talk about public policy, poverty, social justice, and many, many other things. I'd love it if you would join me over there. I'm just about 5,000 subscribers away from 100,000, so you could be the lucky 100,000 subscriber. So I was checking the Fox News YouTube channel, to speak of another YouTube channel, to see what they've been posting about since Donald Trump's election, and I came across this video title, Judge Jeanine Reacts to Woke Bishop. Where's the separation of church and state? I mean, honestly, wow. Where is the separation of church and state? Is this something you guys care about now? What about all of those radical Christian nationalist judges who are working overtime across the country to restrict reproductive rights? What about Samuel Alito's Christian nationalist flag and the constant stream of arguments from Republicans that are centered directly on their own personal Christian beliefs? Jeanine Pirro does not care about the separation of church and state. If she did, she would not support Donald Trump, who has an administration full of Christian nationalists. Now, Donald Trump has only been in office for like 3 days, and already he is mobilizing his supporters against a Christian bishop. We'll get to how the Fox hosts are joining the chorus, amplifying the hate against this bishop, who already said in an interview on CNN that she's receiving communication from Trump supporters that is not kind. We can only imagine what threats are contained in those communications. But this bishop, the Right Reverend Marianne Edgar Buddy, Bishop of the Diocese of Washington, asked Trump to be kind. That's basically it. And the right is attacking her endlessly for it. I'm going to play the part where she spoke directly to Trump. And I'm playing it for context, but also because it's kind of refreshing. It's like a refreshing balm amid the terrible onslaught of everything that we're dealing with. So here she is.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
Could not not be more kind, could not be more gracious. It was healing just to hear that. And now Donald Trump and Fox News, because they cannot accept that Donald Trump is a hateful, bigoted man who was gently reminded to take seriously the power that he has over others, they're joining together to attack the bishop.
But what this woke bishop didn't count on is that President Trump is one heck of a counterpuncher. 47 going scorched earth on the nasty clergywoman, calling her service boring and uninspiring, and adding that she and the church owed the public an apology. And no surprise here, the woke bishop is capitalizing on her newfound fame, making all the stops to liberal outlets like CNN, and then worshiping with the 5 disciples of The View.
Unity requires a certain degree of mercy, mercy and compassion and understanding. We need to be merciful. I was trying to counter the narrative that is so divisive and polarizing, and in which real people are being harmed. How could it not be politicized, right? We're in a hyper-political climate. I was trying to speak a truth that I felt needed to be said, but to do it in as respectful and kind a way as I could.
All right, Jesse, he's not even 24 hours into his presidency, and it's such an opportunity. I mean, there they are at the National Cathedral, and everything was very unified. You know, it was when you saw the luncheon and you saw people in Congress. I mean, it was a unity event, and it was stained by this bishop.
She calls her a nasty clergywoman, echoing Donald Trump. You know, I love the part of this clip when they play a portion of the bishop's appearance. I think it was on The View, when she's saying, we need to be merciful. And the Fox News Chiron reads, woke bishop doubles down on Trump attacks. How is it an attack for someone to remind you that you hold enormous power over others and that people are afraid and at risk because of your policies, your words, your positions? It isn't. Imagine being a nearly 79-year-old man and having lived a life so removed from accountability that it feels like a brutal beating to be told to be considerate of others. Donald Trump thinks that she should apologize. Apologize for what? Asking for mercy and compassion for others? What is wrong with these people? Also, Jeanine Pirro trying to say that everyone is so unified right now. No, we're not. No, Trump is signing bigoted, racist executive orders, and we're over here trying to figure out how to get through the day while our friends and neighbors are daily being put at risk because of the political decisions being made by your president. One headline that I found that I really liked is this one from the Associated Press. Episcopal bishop says she'll continue to pray for Trump, who lashed out at her over viral sermon. You know how it can feel passive-aggressive sometimes when someone says they'll pray for you? Like there is a way that can be said to you and it feels passive-aggressive. I like to imagine that that's how the bishop meant it in this context, but I know that's not the case because she seems like a genuinely compassionate person who is in the line of fire right now. How do I know? Well, I read an article by Jack Jenkins published after all of this controversy where he talked about how the people around the bishop are afraid for her safety, given how vitriolic the communications have been from Donald Trump supporters. And she said she's more concerned about the LGBTQ plus and immigrant communities she spoke of in her sermon. Quote, "The people who are in danger are the people who fear for their lives and their livelihood," she said. That's where the focus should be. Wouldn't it be great to have a president who cared about people? Maybe next time.
We've seen many high-profile data breaches this year, raising serious concerns about personal information security, and most alarming, National Public Data announced a major breach potentially impacting nearly every American. It exposed 2.9 billion records, including names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, social security numbers, and hackers released all of this online for free. But I feel secure thanks to Aura, one of our sponsors. Aura monitors your personal data. This includes your social across billions of data points, including dark web and public records. It will let you know if there's an identity theft risk, and they provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. Aura offers additional safety features like real-time breach alerts, a password manager, and much more. I don't want to leave myself or my family vulnerable to these data breaches. If you don't want to either, go to aura.com/Pacman to try 2 weeks free. That's enough time to see if your personal data is already exposed. The link is in the description.